Hello, welcome to another episode of Awakening with Soulspirational. I'm Tish, and once again, I've got my great friend Rick here with me, and again, Mr. Joel Foose behind the camera. And today, I want to give you a little idea of what it is that I do. I'm going to give a very condensed Reiki session to Rick. So some of you may already be familiar with Reiki. Others of you may be watching the show wondering, what does Reiki even mean? Typically a Reiki session, a full Reiki session, will last about an hour. This episode's only 28 minutes and I still want to put some context. So Rick's only going to get a few minutes of Reiki in here, but I at least want to give you a visual idea of what it is that, if you're thinking about getting a Reiki treatment, of what you could possibly expect. And I say possibly because every practitioner will work a little differently. So some practitioners will be very quiet, they'll be hands-on, they'll just lay on of hands throughout different parts of the body. Other practitioners, they will work hands-off for the entire session. With myself, I do a combination of both hands-on and hands-off. Typically, I'll touch people around the shoulders, the hands, the ankles, and the feet. And then sometimes in between as well. It just depends on where I'm being guided during the course of the session. And what do I mean by where I'm being guided? Well, when we are, as a Reiki practitioner and myself as an intuitive healer, as I am working with a client, I am connecting, first of all, just doing Reiki, I am connecting with the person on the table with their energy system. So once I'm connected, oftentimes I will feel where to go. So I'll take inventory of my own body before I connect with somebody so I know what's mine, and then I'll know what's the person's on the table. So that'll give me ideas of where I'm going to on the person's energy body. And then depending again with why the person came in for session, we may actually be talking quite a bit during session. I'm asking them different things, leading me to different directions. Other times it's much quieter. Again, it really just kind of all depends. Usually there's some kind of goal that the client is setting. You know, maybe they have back pain or they've been suffering from migraines. Sometimes they come in just because they want to reduce some stress in their lives. So there's a whole host of reasons why people come in. With that being said, there are parts that I've already done, some opening things that normally I would do that I can't put on camera just because I'm trying to save time to show you more here. So what you're going to see me do, I'm going to place a washcloth over Rick's eyes. Now, normally in session, and I've already done this, where I will be using certain symbols, the symbols have different intentions, that I'm setting within Rick's energy body. And by having the washcloth there, he doesn't have to get that flash of light. But also we do this because it's really calming, I think, to be nice and cozy under the blankets. And then we have the washcloth here. So it allows one to feel, I don't know, to me, I think it just feels a little safer. And especially if you haven't had a Reiki session before, some people they don't know what to expect when they get on the table. So here's my phone, so I can keep track of time. So I am just going to run through. There may be certain questions that I want to ask Rick, and you may feel as though I'm withholding from you, the viewer, and I may very well be doing so because it could be personal stuff to Rick that I can talk to him about when we're done taping. Otherwise, there may be generalized questions I may ask you, if that's all right, Rick.
That's fine.
Okay. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Generally, there's light music on in the background, nice and soothing. You've been having some sinus issues lately.
Mm-hmm.
Just we're working with a client. It isn't uncommon that when, so you may know that your practitioner is up around your head, but you may feel the energy moving down through your torso or down through your legs. It may be tingling, or sometimes you may feel a little jolt. It's just part of the process because we're literally working with your energy body. Reiki is not something you have to believe in order to try it out. It's energy healing. So as we're getting in the energy, you may very well feel it flowing through you. And as we're working with the Reiki energy, a Reiki practitioner is not a healer. We are conduits. We are the channel, so to speak. Any healing that is done on the table is between you, the person on the table, and God. We're just here for guidance, using our own experience, what we've learned throughout our own practice. But any healing really is powered by the client. And then for those of you that are familiar with the chakra system, I'll be working with Rick's chakras. You'll notice at this point my hands are off. Just working with Rick's energy. Although I do work with my eyes closed because I can see better intuitively with my eyes closed. So at this point it's 4 hands off. And again, I'm kind of removing some of the elements just for time's sake today. And then for other Reiki practitioners, if you're familiar with the chakra system, so one of the things I'm doing, if you weren't trained by me, you may or may not have been trained in the chakra system. If you were, or if you want to start doing so, you're feeling into the top side of the chakra, and imagine you're just feeling straight on down to the back side of that chakra. The other thing that we can do is we can just imagine moving it to the side of the body to get a feel of the top and the bottom sides of that chakra. You know, so I'm looking for things of, does the color appear right to me? Is there spinning? What does the spinning feel like? Do I perceive any blockages? I'm also paying attention to how my body is responding to each one of the chakras. So it's giving me different hints, if you would. So what I was asking you about before tape, when I get down into your root, I'm going right back into your ears. So we'll talk about that after tape, and I just want to tell you before I forget. All right, where are your hands? Okay. And again, what I'm doing here, I'm just getting Reiki energy flowing. Throughout his body. So I'm working with different chakra points. Is it all right if I touch your feet and ankles?
Sure.
You know, the legs, the feet, the ankles are so important. They carry us through life. Sometimes we can get stuck in life. We may find ourselves tripping over things or feeling a little stiff. It's good to keep the energy flowing in the feet. What kind of time we have? Oh, we're good. So what I'm doing is some of the things that I was feeling when I was first going through to open up his energy, different things that I was feeling into. So I just want to clear out what I perceive to be a little blockage. And then as I'm doing this, it's taking me back up to his ears. So I'm gonna, can I touch your shoulders?
Sure.
So I'm gonna, for those of you that are Reiki practitioners that may be watching this, I'm gonna show you a little technique that I use. Not that Rick necessarily needs this right now, but you'll work with me, right, Rick?
Yeah.
All right. So, so there are some times where I feel that I get a certain feeling within my ears telling me that somebody recently heard something that was hurtful to them. So I would ask my client and they'll confirm or deny. But if that is the case, what I'll do is I will ask them to think about something very pleasant, loving, kind. And then what I do is I use that energy to clear out the airways. So with that, Rick, I'm going to ask for you to imagine something that, maybe it's your kids or your grandkids, something that when you think about it just makes your heart spontaneously smile.
Okay.
Can you see it?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to ask for you, if you're not already, to feel it in your heart chakra, your heart center. I'm going to ask for you to anchor it there for me, if you would. And it's like when I'm going, and it's like I can feel the tug. I can feel the pulling of that energy in a loving way. So even though Rick doesn't necessarily need an ear cleansing, I think it's still nice to just bring up the sounds of love. So we're thinking about something that makes our heart spontaneously smile, if it is something loving or whatever it may be. Because then, we're pulling it up through the throat chakra, and the throat chakra is the truth center. So it's like we get to pass through the truth center of love and then just kind of bring it up and out into our ears. And that also affects the way that we speak. So if we can feel that love flowing through us, if we can bring the love up through the earways, where maybe we can start to temper the way that we are hearing others, soften the way in which we are interpreting the different things that they're saying or speaking to us. So it's just another way that we can use this as well. And then you can either keep that thought there or just go into normal thinking, thoughts. Have you been having more neck issues lately? Strain?
Yeah.
And when I'm manipulating your neck energetically, it's like I'm pulling to the right of your sinuses. So I'll work on a little cleanse there as well.
Okay.
I'm going to touch your forehead and your head.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So again, given the time, I'm going to go ahead and do the wrapping up parts of the session. I'm kind of smiling because I've worked with Rick enough that I'm just seeing some lovely things that I'll share with him later. I'm going to stop this timer. I'm going to leave you grounded at your feet.
Mm-hmm.
So the rest of it I will share for after taping because we're running out of time. So this is a very condensed version of what a Reiki session may be like depending on the practitioner you go to. And as you can see, it's just nice and relaxing for the client to be in this beautiful, warm, cozy bed.
You bet.
If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. You can go to my website, www.soulspirational.com, which will be at the bottom of the screen. My email address is info, I-N-F-O, @soulspirational.com. And again, big thank yous to Rick To Joel, who's behind the camera, I appreciate both of you so much. And until next time, thank you, be well, and namaste.